Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back. I am ready to share with you some nonfiction text today. So remember, nonfiction gives us real information, those facts that we've been talking about. So today I'm really excited. I'm about to share with you a nonfiction text about a topic we're going to be exploring in science with Mr. Bennett in the upcoming week. So today, our book is called Polar Regions. So today, we're going to read this nonfiction text, and as we read, we're going to identify those facts. And remember, those facts are going to lead us to the main topic. What's it all about? So, let's get started looking for those facts that we're learning as we're reading. So this is Polar Regions, written by Catherine Sill and illustrated by John Sill. I'm already wondering, what is a polar region? I bet we're going to learn some facts that will tell me. Polar regions are cold, windy places around the world's north and south poles. Okay, so it's starting to tell me what a polar region is. The north and south poles. Well, that's at the top of our Earth and the bottom of our Earth. Interesting. I wonder what makes them so special. The area at the North Pole is the Arctic. It is made up of frozen ocean with land all around. So there's this frozen water, and then I see this land all around. So that's the Arctic at the North Pole. I'm going to stop a second. I'm going to start recording these facts, what I'm learning. So on my piece of paper up here, I am going to draw a circle. That's going to be my Earth. And the North Pole is up here, so I'm going to color that. And that is the Arctic. Okay? And the Arctic has icy water, right? And then it's surrounded by land. So icy water. Okay, so my fact so far is the Arctic is at the North Pole and it's icy water surrounded by land. All right, let's get back and see what we can learn about the next polar region. The area at the South Pole is called the Antarctic. It is made up of a huge area of frozen land with ocean all around it. Ooh, this is almost the opposite of the Arctic. The Antarctic is at the South Pole, and it's actually frozen land and the water's all around it. Okay, let me go back and record that fact. That is really interesting. So back here is my Earth, and we are at the South Pole, which is the Antarctic. Okay, so it is the opposite. It has land in the middle and icy water on the outside. So land and icy water. So far I've learned that there are two polar regions, the Arctic, the Antarctic, and they are the opposite, but they are both icy and cold. Interesting. All right, let's get back and see if we can learn some more facts. Some parts of polar regions are covered with ice all year long. Could you imagine living where there's ice all year long? I bet it's really cold. What an interesting fact. During winter, the sun never rises and the days are long and cold. So in polar regions, The sun never rises in the winter? Could you imagine living in the dark? Oh, I'm going to add that to my facts because that's really interesting. So in polar regions, in the winter, it is always dark all day. Can you imagine? It's like nighttime all day long during the winter in polar regions. So interesting. All right. In summer, the sun shines all day and night. And the days are a little warmer. So wait a minute. In the winter, it's dark and the sun never shines. But in the summer, it shines all day long. Whew. So it's never dark. So here I'm going to add winter because that's what's true in winter. All right. In summer, the sun shines all day in polar regions. My goodness, what interesting places these are. The ice melts in some places during the long sunny days. Plants are able to live in these warmer parts of polar regions. I keep hearing that word, polar regions. Must be an important word. The plants in polar regions grow close to the ground where they are protected from the cold wind. Well, that's interesting. In polar regions, plants are close to the ground. So here's some grass. It looked like there were some little plants. So plants in some places, not all. All right, let's see. Animals live in different parts of polar regions. Look at some of these animals. This is a snow petrel. This is a walrus, some chin-strap penguins, and caribou. So some animals live in polar regions. They have special ways to survive the cold temperatures. Well, I wonder what those cool ways they do that is. Most polar animals live in the ocean where it is warmer. Well, that makes sense because it either has ocean in the middle or ocean on the outside. Many have a thick layer of fat called blubber. Ooh, that's a fun word to say. I wonder what blubber is. Some fish in polar regions have a special kind of blood that keeps them from freezing. Wow, that is a really interesting fact. That some of the fish in the polar waters, the polar regions, have blood that keep them from freezing. Ooh. Animals that live on land have thick fur or warm feathers to protect them from the cold. Some live in dens or tunnels under the snow. Others move to warmer places during the winter. We learned about that. That's called migration. Polar regions are important places that need to be protected. I bet they are important because there's animals that live there. So boys and girls, let's go back to our facts. I need to add some facts about animals. So animals live in polar regions. So I saw birds. That's my little bird, big bird. I saw polar bears. Just doing the best I can. Just doing it real quick because, it's not art. And they are animals that live there, but they have to have special ways to survive. All right. So now that we learned all these facts, we're going to go back and see if we can figure out what was my text all about. So let's see. I learned that there are two polar regions, the Arctic at the North Pole the Antarctic at the South Pole. In the Arctic polar region, there's icy water in the middle and land all around. In the Antarctic polar region, it's the opposite. They have land in the middle and icy water all around. So there are two polar regions. In the winter in polar regions, it's always dark all day, like nighttime. But in the summer in polar regions, it's sunny all day long. It never gets dark. It's really interesting. I'm not sure that I would want to live in a polar region. Polar regions have flowers, but they live close together on the ground. They have different plants. And then polar regions have different animals that need to figure out ways to survive. So wait a minute. I heard a word come up a lot, and I'm thinking, what is it all about? Go ahead, take a second, think. Maybe tell someone at home. What was our text all about? All right, boys and girls, I think I heard some friends say it. Well, Mrs. Opdyke thinks the main topic of our text, it was all about polar regions. All my facts told me what it was like to live in either the Arctic or the Antarctic, which are our two polar regions. So our main topic, it was all about polar regions. Boys and girls, today you are going to explore finding the main topic using facts with your teacher. If you're working on your playlist, continue to the next part of your assignment. Happy reading, friends.